The information including but not limited to text, graphics, audio, images, and video contained in For the Fighter in You is for informational purposes only. No material on our show is intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified healthcare provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition or treatment. Now, let's hit it.
You're listening to For the Fighter in You, United Fight Alliance, for the fighter in you.
Solace Lifesciences is a neuroscience company that makes NuCalm, Ignite, Deep Sleep, Focus, and Rescue. NuCalm, the company's flagship product, is the world's first and only patented technology clinically proven to lower stress and improve sleep quality without drugs. NuCalm naturally and safely creates deep relaxation within minutes with no side effects. By managing the stress response, NuCalm helps with muscle recovery, healing, focus, productivity, and emotional balance. NuCalm is profoundly improving the lives of people across 5 continents. Solace Lifesciences is focused on personalized, evidence-based wellness and performance. Jim Poole is Solace Lifesciences CEO, and guess what? He joins us today. Jim!
Hello, everybody.
Great to see you, my brother.
Nice to be seen. Thank you for having me.
Now, the science goes very, very deep, and you're a guy who can, you roll out the 9-syllable words effortlessly. But before we go down that rabbit hole, I think what would be very useful and productive to talk about the benefits of using NuCalm first so that people can see that it will definitely be worth their time as an investment to listen to you for the next 40, 50, 60 minutes. The benefits of NuCalm before we talk about the science of how it all works. Is that fair?
Perfect. That sounds amazing.
Okay.
So since the dawn of humankind, humans have either discovered or created ways to change their state, their mental state. So today, this afternoon, if I'm feeling lethargic, I might have an espresso, a Red Bull, a Monster Energy, accelerate my brainwave frequency. Tonight, if I had a tough day and I want to relieve some psychic pain, I might have a glass of wine. That lowers my brainwave frequency. If I'm struggling with anxiety, I may go to the doctor and he give me an anti-anxiety pill. Or if I'm struggling with depression, the doctor may give me an antidepressant. If I'm having sleep issues, the doctor may give me a sleeping pill. You're kind of catching on to a pattern here. Humans, for all the complexity and grandiosity of our brain, have very limited ability to self-regulate their brainwave function. No one's ever really thought about that. But we rely on external stimulation for all of that. And today, there's a different way. So what we've done is we've taken 33 years of clinically proven patented neuroscience and $42 million and put it into a mobile app to give you the power of your brain in the palm of your hand. And what does that mean? That means that at any time of day, on demand, without drugs, you can choose the outcome you want. Hey, I'm going to go work out. I want to feel motivated. I want to have a sense of absolute certainty. I want to ensure that when lactic acid and inflammation start picking their turtle head out on my thighs, I just keep on going. And I want to go hard. I want to really push myself. So I'll play Ignite. Ignite activates my brainwave to a high frequency. If I'm working and I'm looking at contracts or I'm looking at, kind of boring material on my computer, I'll put on Focus with headphones. It drives my brainwave to the learning state, which happens to be a certain frequency. If I had a tough day, if I traveled, you travel a lot, I travel a lot. There are a lot of times where my body is dysregulated, my mind, my spirit, my nutrition, jet lag, etc. I will get in and do a rescue, which is more of an immersive experience, and it'll take my brainwave down gently to this state called theta, which is the healing zone. And then lastly, at night, if I want to sleep deeper, I want the onset of sleep to happen sooner. And more importantly, when I get up to pee in the night, I don't lie there perseverating over stupid stuff I can't solve at 3 a.m. I will listen to deep sleep. So what we've done is created a way for humans to regulate their brainwave function up or down on demand through the power of a mobile app. Now, interestingly enough, Jordan, we're not an app company, but we get confused for an app company because we deliver our neuroscience product via an app to make it easier for humans to create a habit. So we're damned if we do and we're damned if we don't. But one of the benefits, and we've seen this for 14 years around the world, every human that we've come across and every human through extension of all the people we've met, nobody on earth today of the 8 billion people inhabiting earth is managing stress well. We're just not doing it. And there's so many external factors and so many accelerated things happening in our world, from our food supply not being food, to environmental toxins, to technology being tethered to us all the time. Nobody's managing stress well, but furthermore, nobody even understands what stress is. So we as a company can help you as a human liberate yourself from worry, from anxiety, from anticipatory anxiety of what you're fearful about what's going to happen, from stress, from expectation, from feeling overwhelmed, all this stuff that creates what you could say noise in the signal, that kind of garbage that's between our ears, really getting in the way of our clarity and our focus and our optimism. We can go right to the midbrain with physics and resolve all of that for you, literally flush it away, and open up your mind and your spirit and your emotional health and give you back control of you. I think the biggest outcome that NuCalm provides the world today is it puts you back in control. You're now at the seat, the driver's seat of your life.
Man, that's really powerful stuff. I hope people can grasp just the intensity. And I mean, the term revolutionary is bandied about, quite frequently, but this truly is, because this is a game changer at a very deep level. And I think one of the things that will kind of paint that and paint that out and bring it forward and be very illustrative is, if you look at a file, if you look at a NuCalm file, it's much bigger than these traditional files that you normally see. Like, this is not, just going to YouTube and watching a relaxation video or listening to a relaxation audio. There's a lot of things that NuCalm is doing behind the scenes, underneath the conscious level.
It has to be that way. We're so quick to want to find a silver bullet. We have a very low attention span. We have a high sense of immediate gratification, and it takes us a long time to create problems, and we want to solve it in the fastest amount of time. But it doesn't work that way. So the complexity of the brain and trying to find solutions to complex brain problems obviously is going to necessitate a complex solution. It took the quantum physicist, naturopath, neuroscientist, Dr. Blake Holloway, over 19 years to invent NuCalm. Not because he was lazy, not because he wasn't persistent, not because he didn't trial and error and learn. The brain's complexity and the brain's desire not to be invaded by anything. See, your body and your brain is a closed loop ecosystem. And when left by its own virtues, it knows how to balance itself and get into homeostasis. But everything else in the world kind of impacts that. So when you do something to the brain, it reacts. So Blake, in his invention path, literally had to figure out, if I do this to the brain, how's it going to compensate? Then I'm going to do this. How's it going to compensate? Then I'm going to do this. How's it going to compensate? So to your point around a file, so people don't know what they don't know. And it's not enough for us to judge them. We're not told things like, hey, how does the brain wired? Why do we do the things we do? Well, people seem to think, because they want to, that music can change your mental state. No, it can't. That is a physiological impossibility. If I'm having an anxious day, I'm in psychic pain, I'm worried, I'm sweating, I'm really agitated. If I listen to music, that doesn't change my state. It doesn't downregulate my sympathetic tone. It doesn't slow down my stress response. It does nothing. It may alter my mood slightly for a little bit, but that's all it does. Music cannot change your mental state. It doesn't work that way. If you wanted to get activated in the morning, people drink coffee The caffeine increases your brainwave frequency. Listening to AC/DC in the morning, that doesn't increase my brainwave frequency. It gets me excited for a short amount of time. It's a mood elevator. We're not in the music business. We're in the neuroacoustic software business. We're in the business, Jordan, of presenting your brain with a signal that your brain follows. And we take you to a desired outcome based on what you want to do. So, for example, we're going to use your ears as a carrier. It's all it is. It's a messenger. But in that message, there's mathematics, there's physics, and there's algorithms, a very complex software that lies underneath music. As the listener, you get to hear beautifully composed music. You have no idea what's happening behind the scenes, and we wouldn't want you to. But all we're doing is going right to your brain and presenting it with a pattern. This track, for example, like Rescue 50, is 1.49 gigabytes. That's 330 times larger than a song. So hopefully that gives the listeners an idea of the complexity that's required to effectively and reliably manage the brain. And that's what we're doing. So yeah, it's complex. Yes, we're pioneers. Yes, it's revolutionary. You know, if you think about and look at capitalism and look at the history of the last 100 years, there's only a pioneering product or two or three each decade. We've been at this for 33 years. We have stood alone in the advanced neuroscience and applied neuropsychobiology realm for 33 years with no comparison. The brain cannot compare NuCalm to something because it didn't prior exist. The whole category, what we do never existed before. So one of our biggest challenges is how do we simplify this so your brain isn't paralyzed? Because if I say, hey, this is NuCalm and this is what it does, your brain is looking for that point of reference. And there isn't one. So it's fascinating. There's a lot of complexity to bringing to the world a pioneering product that sounds too good to be true, educating people on the brain, which most people don't understand, and more importantly, finding a solution to manage the brain. We're the ones behind the scenes building the products, but we also have to figure out how humans can create a habit.
If any of the material on our show is helpful in any way, we are grateful. If any of it resonates with you and you're so moved, please share the show, like or subscribe to the show, or better yet, all three. Your support allows us to continue sharing the wisdom of the world's best doctors, sports psychologists, trainers, nutritionists, coaches, lifestyle experts, and business owners. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you. Now, let's hit it. Right, yeah, the applied science. It's one thing to understand and know the science, but it's the other to apply the science. And so let's go to the root of the science itself. So someone gets NuCalm. Now I've got NuCalm and I'm looking at my phone app of NuCalm right now. There's deep sleep, there's rescue, there's focus, there's power nap, there's ignite, there's flow state 3.0 or flow state 30, new flow state. So there's all these different files that you can access.
Yep. We call them channels. Yep.
Oh, channels. Okay. So different channels. Maybe walk us through. So
why and how?
Say again?
What, why, and how?
Yeah, I would say what, why, and how. Like if I'm getting up in the morning and I need to slay the day, right? I need to seize the day. I've got a carpe diem type of day that I cannot come up short and I got to be a warrior. What would be my workflow?
Awesome. Let's start back at Brain 101. The brain operates in a frequency range of 41 hertz. I don't expect you to understand biomodulation, frequency, resonance, vibration, but just understand this conceptually. The world is about vibration. The earth has a magnetic rotation and a vibration. It's a frequency of 7.83 hertz. The human body cavity resonates at 7.83 hertz. It's called the Schumann resonance. Everything in this world has a vibrational pattern. You right now are different than you're going to be in a minute. I right now am different than I'm being in a minute. Metabolic processes, vibration, frequency, we're constantly in an evolutionary dynamic flow. That's why when you look at pictures of yourself or pictures of your spouse, you never look the same in pictures because we're vibrational beings. We're constantly in an evolutionary path. And people think there's an end. There's no end. Maybe upon your death, there's an end to this life, but there's no end. because it's a constant vibrational journey. So the brain oscillates in a range of 41 hertz. And in that range, Jordan, there are 5 categories. So from the slowest brainwave function of delta, it's a certain frequency range, 0.5 hertz to 4 hertz. It's a high amplitude, low waveform. Okay, that's deep sleep. When you're in that state, when your brain is in that frequency, we know it's not up for debate. Hey, I think he's thinking or having fun. No, we know you're in dreamless, like deep sleep. Your body's recovering. That's the beauty of NuCalm and physics. It's mathematics. It's not gray. We know exactly what's happening. When you go a little faster frequency, it's called theta, Theta. Theta is fascinating because it's also called the healing zone. Now, that sounds pretty cool. That sounds like something that we should kind of pay attention to. Well, why is it called the healing zone? When your brainwave is oscillating at a frequency between 4 hertz and 7 hertz in theta, your cells are cleaning cells. They're doing their cellular maintenance. It's the cleanup job. Hey, there's toxins to remove. So our cells know the message they need to deliver. Cell biology, our body's biology, is all about cellular communication, whether it's electrical signaling or chemical signaling. Everything in our body, trillions of cells, have a message to deliver and a job to do. The second reason that theta is the healing zone, mitochondria. Some of you remember that from 10th grade or 11th grade biology. That is the energy source of the cell. Your mitochondria is restored. So that is why sleep is important. Now, I think it would have been important if people told us why sleep's important. But no, they don't tell us that. We just kind of know if I'm going to live to be 100 years old, I should sleep for 33 years. So we deductively have to reason, hey, that must be important. But that's why it's important. It's when your body and your mind restores, rejuvenates, and gets to that state of energy. Faster frequency, 8 hertz to 12 hertz, is called alpha. Many of you have heard of alpha, especially if you're into transcendental meditation, being in the zone. So that frequency range is about creativity, being relaxed, being in the zone, being in a meditative state. Then we go to the broadest range of human function, which is called beta. 12 to 15 hertz is mentally lethargic, but you're awake. You're not sleeping, but you don't really want to be involved in the day. 15 to 20 hertz is the learning zone. People don't know this either. There's a state associated with learning. When you're not in that state, you don't learn. Huh? Yeah. So if you're feeling anxious, don't bother learning because your brain's not going to encode new information. And it certainly won't consolidate it to memory. So there's a certain frequency range of 15 to 20 hertz that's correlated to learning, high levels of clarity, comprehension, and concentration. Hey, it would have been nice if you'd shared that with me. For all the hours that all of us have spent trying to push information into our brains when we're feeling isolated, depressed, exhausted, scared, lonely, it doesn't work. So don't bother. Go do something for yourselves. Come back and get into that state. 20 to 25 hertz is a higher beta, and that's associated with stress, fear, anxiety, depression, and worry. That sounds delicious. I'd like to spend a lot of time there. No, thanks. 25 to 30 is a higher level of stress, fear, anxiety, and worry. And then 30 to 38 is pure fight, flight, or freeze. You are out of your marbles and you are in full fight or flight. And then interestingly enough, Jordan, because the brain has so many nuances, there's a sweet spot called gamma. Above the highest levels of stress, 39 to 41 hertz is a spot that is correlated to monk-like meditation, but also the elicitation of dopamine, the activation of your senses, an increase in your gross motor cortex and sensory motor rhythm, an increase in your peripheral vision and olfactory. It prepares you mentally and physically for high-intensity, mistake-free performance so that you can slay your day, carpe diem, with a supercharge on it. Those are the 5 ranges. It took our company 32 years of invention, discovery, clinical proof, validation, regulatory to figure out how to map all 5 categories. And that is what we've done. And last July, we launched our last channel called Focus. So in that app, you have 6 channels that help you regulate all the way down to the deepest levels of sleep and all the way up to the highest levels of intensity. So gamma, beta, alpha, theta, delta, we have created that. So I get up today, it's a random Tuesday, it's early summer, and I got a big day ahead of me. So I want to crush it. I didn't get a great night's sleep last night because of the anticipatory anxiety that plagued my sleep when I got up to pee at 3 a.m. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to pee and I'm going to get right back in bed and do either power nap or rescue. Why? According to our research at Harvard Medical School and NASA, 20 minutes of NuCalm is equivalent to 2 hours of restorative sleep. 20 minutes of NuCalm is equivalent to 2 hours of restorative sleep. Not sleep as in the whole architecture. For those of you who know sleep, it's a 100 to 90-minute sleep cycle. No. The restorative aspect is theta. So if our brainwave guidance takes you into theta and holds you there, you're getting the most value in the shortest amount of time. So what NuCalm Rescue and Power Nap does is it augments or makes up for the sleep debt that you didn't get the night before. Because humans cannot make up sleep debt. Doesn't exist. But biochemistry and physics can. So the first thing I do is I get back in bed and I say, hey, I didn't sleep well and I want to really destroy this day and really crush it. I'm going to do rescue. Then I get up and I'm feeling better. I feel like, okay, I feel good. I might put on an Ignite for 13 minutes with a headphone. Ignite's going to bring my brainwave up to like full intense clarity. It's like having a couple cups of coffee without any of the acid in my stomach and going to the bathroom and the jitters. Okay, great. It's all natural. Then I'll go into my office. I'll put focus on. Why? Because I don't want to be distracted. I want to hone in on a one-track mind and really laser focus on what I'm trying to achieve. Then I'll do my work for hours. And then in the afternoon, I'll get on the Peloton. Now, for those of you who know me personally, you know, I've got a big upper body and chicken legs. I don't belong on the Peloton. So I need all the motivation and help I get. Ignite gives me that help. So I get to ride like Lance Armstrong, and I shouldn't even be on the Peloton, but I'm listening to Ignite primarily with Tony Robbins yelling at me from a couple trainings we did with professional sports teams. And I'm just going. My wife thinks I'm going to have a heart attack, and maybe someday I will, because I won't stop like a Labrador chasing a tennis ball. Then when I'm done with that, I recover, I get my oxygen, I take a shower. I might do a quick power nap again just to restore me so that I have really good energy for the afternoon. And then at night, I use deep sleep. So you can see throughout the day, using this technology, this isn't the be all end all. NuCalm isn't the answer to everybody's problems. It is a technology that is reliable, safe, and easy to use, and a tool that allows me to dictate what I want from myself at that moment. That's the control we're giving back to the human being. And it is so easy. And literally, I tell people, say, listen, I know one thing for certain. NuCalm will never let you down. It's physics. It doesn't have a hypothesis. It doesn't discriminate. And it just does what it's intended to do. So if I click on deep sleep, I'll fall asleep. If I click on focus, I'll focus. If I click on rescue, I'll recover. And if I click on ignite, I'll run around the block at a fast rate of speed. That's it.
Hey everybody, Jordan J. Adams here. If you're ready to take a deeper dive into NuCalm, that's NuCalm, NuCalm.com. Check it out. Neuroscience technology that used to be exclusively available for the U.S. military, pilots, doctors, and professional athletes. The world's only patented technology, clinically proven to expedite recovery, improve sleep, and sharpen focus without drugs. The world's first and only patented technology, clinically proven to lower stress and improve sleep quality without drugs. It's backed by over 33 years of patented, clinically proven neuroscience. By late August 2023, NuCalm will surpass over 1 billion listened to minutes. It's an FDA Class 3 medically device cleared now for you for the treatment of anxiety, depression, and insomnia as well. NuCalm was approved by Health Canada. It's approved by the U.S. military and has been used in over 2 million surgical procedures as a replacement for general anesthesia. NuCalm has been used by over 56 professional sports teams since 2011. NuCalm is used across the U.S. Department of Defense, Special Forces, Navy SEALs, Air Force Special Operations, Border Patrol, FBI, and more. And United Fight Alliance is extremely proud and excited to now bring you a 15% discount off the first month of any NuCalm subscription. That's all the way from Rescue at $14.99 a month to Mastermind, which is $3,495. That's a savings of over $500 with your UFA affiliate code. Let's get back to Jim Poole, the CEO of Solace Lifesciences, and of course, NuCalm. Here with Jim Poole, CEO of Solace Lifesciences, maker of NuCalm, Ignite, Deep Sleep, Focus, and Rescue. We came back and I realized we weren't recording when we came back, and I said, I want to get all this. I was talking about my brain fog and how at times I really bog down in the afternoon or after a big meal. I just get stupid. No other way to put it. I can't think my way out of a paper bag. And you were telling me I need to get into the habit of doing rescue. Can you tell us why?
I can. So we talked earlier about theta, and theta being this magical state between 4 and 7 hertz in the sleep architecture that's commensurate with mitochondrial restoration, cellular health, removing toxins. But really the value of rescue is allowing the body to absorb as much oxygen as possible. So the body's healing element, the primary healing element for the human body and the brain, is oxygen. So when you are in this state of theta, now in this state, rescue is an immersive experience, and you're familiar with this, Jordan. It's in the afternoon, you find a safe, comfortable place, preferably your bed at home. You put an eye mask on, your favorite headphones, you select a rescue journey. For the first 5 to 8 minutes, nothing's really happening. We call that the departure lounge. We're seeking permission from your central nervous system to take you on a journey into this state of healing. So after about 8 minutes, you'll notice that your respiration begins to slow down. Your body begins to feel heavy. That's the force of gravity. See, when we're up and we have adrenaline going, we don't even feel 9.2 meters per second squared unless we jump out of a building, right? You don't feel gravity because we have adrenaline going. But when you relax adrenaline and you begin to slip into that state of theta, you feel the force of gravity and you kind of fall right into your bed. What we're doing, if you think about rescue as a healing therapy, we are synchronizing your heart with your lungs. We're slowing down your respiration rate to 1 breath every 10 seconds, 6 breaths a minute. Now, not by coincidence, that 10-second pattern is also the pattern of waves crashing. There's mathematics around the universe, and we're connected to the world in so many various ways we don't even know it. So in rescue, we are going to oxygenate your body from your toes to your prefrontal cortex. And the oxygen-rich red blood is going to create what's called neuronal coherence. Your brain fog is noise in the signal. Most of it is derived from too much oxygen-rich red blood going to your amygdala in the reptile part of your brain. The amygdala is managing fear, stress, anxiety, depression, and worry. And it's a hog. It loves to take resources from the frontal and prefrontal cortex. So your fog is not necessarily, hey, it's foggy inside your cranium. No. The oxygen-rich red blood that is so coveted by your forehead, this is what separates us from primates. This area of our brain is our thinking, our logic, our executive functioning, our emotional balance, our patience, our presence, our character, our personality. This is who we are. Jordan J is here in his forehead. When I can be in a mindful state, fully oxygenated, I can be patient, present, focused in the moment. It doesn't change the external stressors that come into my life. It changes how I perceive and react to them. Because when you are patient, you can see the stressor and you can see it for what it is, and you're able to be responsive instead of sabotaged by the amygdala, which has a very strong protection mechanism. The amygdala is many, many millions of years more formed and more perfected architecture than our prefrontal cortex. And the amygdala is constantly sucking resources from our forehead. And that's what drives most of us. If you look at today's world post-COVID, you see a higher rate of anxiety, you see a higher rate of worry, you see a higher rate of stress, poor sleep, we feel uncertain, we're filled with expectations and overwhelm and emotion. We're just out of balance. We all feel this. A lot of it has to do with the fact that we're not in a mindful state. Our food supply hasn't been food in years. The environmental toxins and 5G and our phones and our attitude and our life, we don't prepare for sleep at night anymore. We're exposed to blue light and all this stuff happening all the time. We allow everyone's external wishes to change our lives. We look at someone else's text. Who are they to control my life? Who are they to sabotage my emotion? Many of us keep our phone on in our bedroom. When we get up in the night to pee, we turn on our phone, we look at our texts. This is pure insanity. And it's driving us to a state where we're just so out of balance. So for brain fog, it's not a mystery. It's simply you don't have enough balance. You've been thriving off cortisol, adrenaline, catecholamines. You've been thriving off go, 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 go with your foot on the accelerator for most of your adult life. At some point, you have to pay the fiddler for that behavioral pattern because we need balance. Now, if you, Jordan J., can take the same attitude of no pain, no gain on the balance approach, you'll be a monk in like 40 to 50 hours because you're fucking crazy.
That's well
Jordan
said.
J.
Like, apply that same overachiever, unbalanced, all adrenaline approach to being balanced.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's think about balance and mindfulness. Mindfulness is one of those ethereal concepts that's difficult for us to understand, not because we're dumb, not because we don't have the intellectual curiosity and horsepower. The human brain has a difficult time understanding intangibles. If I can't see it, touch it, smell it, and feel it, I don't know if it's real. This is true for stress. This is true for COVID. This is true for anything that's not tangible. Okay? Well, mindfulness isn't tangible. Neither is stress. So we don't understand stress. We don't give it the importance it needs. We know through research that 95% or more of all diseases are created by stress, but we still don't give it the import it needs because we don't understand it. Well, we certainly don't understand mindfulness. Meditation was kind of created by the Chinese 3,500 years ago. Meditation, yoga, Tai Chi, breathing exercises, these are all mindful practices, not desirous of you creating this kind of hippie, esoteric, flow with water lifestyle. No, the outcome of mindfulness is to oxygenate the prefrontal cortex. It's a physiological benefit of creating patience and presence in the moment without judgment. You only get there through oxygen being in the prefrontal and frontal cortex, which is where our neuronal coherence, cognition, and thought patterns exist. Ladies and gentlemen, this should not be a mystery. Mindfulness needs to become very important to us on a daily life because the current path of our foot on the accelerator, and I argue this, and I don't want to, but the human race today appears to be in a race to erase the human race. This isn't good. And we know this. And what we're doing for our kids and our next generations is just hearsay. It's insane because we're creating a world that just, for the first time in generations and generations, the world we're creating for our kids isn't as good as the world that we inherited. And that's not fair. And the proliferation of anti-anxiety and antidepressants across college kids and Ritalin and Adderall, they're seeking help. They're begging for it. And something like NuCalm can come in and naturally say, hey, we can help you because we know something about the adolescent, prepubescent, and puberty brain. Their hormones have dysregulated their circadian rhythm. Now, Jordan, you and I can get up every day, go to work, do our thing. And on the weekend, we want to sleep in. We might sleep an hour later than we normally wake up. So if we wake up at 5, we might sleep till 6 on a Saturday. Whoa. But our children can get up at 5 Monday through Friday and then sleep till noon on Saturday. That's hormonal dysregulation. It happens 2 times in the life of a female for sure. And that is puberty and then menopause. And for men, it's puberty. And then maybe people can argue there's menopause too, sympathetic menopause. But regardless, NuCalm and Rescue for You will do a really powerful piece of the puzzle on your healing journey because it'll ensure balance of your autonomic nervous system. It'll ensure that the foot comes off the accelerator, you apply the brakes hard, and we oxygenate the key areas of your brain that are currently being sabotaged by the old reptile part of our brain.
If any of the material on our show is helpful in any way, we are grateful. If any of it resonates with you and you're so moved, please share the show, like or subscribe to the show, or better yet, all 3. Your support allows us to continue sharing the wisdom of the world's best doctors, sports psychologists, trainers, nutritionists, coaches, lifestyle experts, and business owners. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you. was something you said, Jim, in that really impacted me, and that is when stressed, we lose aspects of our personality and we lose aspects of our character. And really what you're taught, what that means to me is our humanity.
Yes.
How did Homo sapiens separate itself? How did it distinguish itself? It created the ability to differ its response to the stress. So, when Pavlov showed, the stimulus response, when the bell rang, the dog drooled, the dog's going to drool every time. But we, for the first time in history, I think we may be the only species who can actually watch our own thoughts, watch our own reaction, and change our response to the stimulus. And to me, this is the whole ball of wax, because this is applied across the board. This is applied with my wife. This is applied with my kids. This is applied at work. This is applied with my colleagues, my friends. This is applied with my physical fitness. I mean, this is the whole ball of wax. If you can give me anything that helps in that regard, I will. I'm a compliant patient. I will do it. We're offline. You said, Jordan, you need to do the rescue 30 times and you become the monk. I'm going to do it. Like, I'm doing it because you just told me that. And that's all I need to do. I will be the best patient you've ever had, Jim.
The science behind this is the autonomic nervous system. It's different than the central nervous system. The autonomic nervous system is the stress response versus the rest response. The autonomic nervous system governs fear, stress, anxiety, depression, and worry. The autonomic nervous system governs fight, flight, or freeze. NuCalm in 2015 was awarded the only patent in the world for balancing the health of the autonomic nervous system. So it's not anything we can give you. We can give you everything. We can give you the therapeutic plug to pull and the switch to flip from stress to rest with no effort. You just get an eye mask, a nice pair of headphones, lie down somewhere comfortable. We take you to that state that the body knows how to get to. It's our monkey mind and our stress and our to-do list that dominates our body's ability to get into homeostasis. The miracle here is not NuCalm. NuCalm is a facilitator to liberate the body to achieve the miracle it is, because the body can get you into balance. The body can rid you of disease. You're out of ease with disease. Cancer. Every one of us on earth at all times has cancer in our body. Did you know that? We all have cancer. But we also have something called a killer cell. The killer cell has a function. Locate the cancer cells, introduce yourself, and kill them. Stress creates cancer. Stress, when we don't sleep over the course of time, our cells don't get into theta enough. The cells don't clean their toxins. They get dirty. The killer cell forgets its job. The killer cell then goes and sees the party and says, wait a second, this party seems fun. And it joins the proliferation of the cancer cell. That's why in cancer feeds on two elements, stress and sugar. This is all related. We just aren't informed of these things. There's an equation and a logical pathway to all of these things. And so for you, it's really simple. You're at a place in your life where you have asked a lot. You've asked a lot of your adrenals. You've asked a lot of go, 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 go. Okay, but it's not too late to stop and reverse some of that. You can go, go, go in the direction of recovery and get to a state of homeostasis and balance. And you can do it quickly, a lot quicker than you think you can, because your body is begging for it. It just needs your monkey mind to stop. Go, 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 go. I tell people, when you use rescue on a daily basis, for the first time in your life, perhaps, you become present in the moment without judgment, which is the term for mindfulness. But more importantly, you become a participant in your daily life as opposed to a spectator, thinking about the future, worrying about the future. There's a great quote from one of my dear friends, Omar Reed. And he said, worry is interest you pay on a debt you don't owe. Worry has never served the human brain well at all. Think about how many calories we've burned worrying. Worrying about what? something that hasn't happened yet. For what purpose? So for you, healing wise and therapeutically, it's simple. We need to oxygenate your frontal cortex. We need to oxygenate your prefrontal cortex. We need to oxygenate your hippocampus, and we need to liberate that sabotage of your amygdala. That's your driver. Amygdala, go, 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 go. No. Amygdala, why don't you go sit at the kids' table for a while? The adults are speaking, and let's get back into balance and take care of you. And we can do that. This is why we work so effectively with trauma, with PTSD, with the veteran community, with addiction, with multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's, and cancer. We don't cure those disease states. We manage the stress that is accelerating those disease states. Same thing with chemo fog. Not an issue at all.
Yeah, and not only in the recovery space, but also in the performance space. I understand that you've been working closely with the NBA and with the NHL and various professional teams in the performance space, and the results were remarkable.
They are, it's all about getting the most out of your training and liberating your monkey mind. There's the quote in golf, if you think, you stink. The whole is true for any sport, right? If you become insecure, if you have a bad day, and it sabotages your next day because it changes your behavior, it changes your muscle memory. Your mind has great powers. And if your mind is not in a state of absolute certainty where you know you're going to achieve greatness, you lose. And we all know this. We all know every time in life and performance where our mind has sabotaged us and it changed our behavior, even if it's slight, even if it's a millimeter. It's amazing. So yes, since 2011, Jordan, we've worked with over 56 professional sports teams, some great teams, including the Golden State Warriors, the Miami Dolphins, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Chicago Blackhawks, the Washington Capitals. We've worked with 58 UFC fighters. We've worked with the US Open tennis championships in New York 4 years in a row. So every year there's a recovery lounge, and they're all doing NuCalm, and they're using Ignite. You can see who goes out there with absolute certainty and wins the championship. They use Rescue to recover, and then they use Ignite before they go out there. We do Ignite in Formula One and NASCAR, which really surprises me because it seemed like it was too kind of go, go, go. But no, they said, no, it level sets our focus. In parallel to the performance of professional athletes and Olympic athletes, we've been at the last 5 Olympic Games. We've been working with the Special Forces, the military Navy SEALs, the elite Border Patrol, BORTAC, and BORSTAR, and the FBI and the hostage rescue team for 12 years. Ensuring that we protect those who are protecting us. That's some of the best work and noble work we do. And the amazing, challenges and sacrifice and determination and skill and training and fearlessness of our brave men and women out there protecting us. If one thing I've learned from them is we need to hold them in higher regard. We need to honor their sacrifice, and also just appreciate the fact that the world out there is not safe. But being in America, we've always felt safe. And we're one of the few countries in the world that has that luxury. We are the home of the free because of the brave. And we're a company that gets to support that endeavor, from active military across the DOD to the veteran community.
We are talking with Jim Poole. He's the CEO of Solace Lifesciences, maker of NuCalm, Ignite, Deep Sleep, Focus, Rescue, and more. He's worked with a who's who of professional sports teams, as you just heard. He's worked very, very deeply and for a long time in the restorative space, PTSD space with our veterans. And a special shout out, you're working with Tony Robbins. I understand you become very close with him. This is a guy who really understands state. What was it for Tony that attracted him to NuCalm, and what is your relationship with him? How are you working with him?
Tony and I became friends in May of 2015. So been friends for about 8 years, over 8 years now. Came to be, he visited his doctor. He just flown in from Fiji. He and his wife had jet lag. They tried Rescue and were blown away. And that began a really nice friendship and a relationship. We're both on parallel paths. We both want to do everything we can to help humanity. And I shared with him early on in one of my visits to his home. I said, hey, I'm going to beat you to it. And he looked at me like, who are you, you punk? I said, well, you're one to one, man. You need to be there. I'm one to many. 8 billion people can use our product. If we can find a way to make it simple and affordable, 8 billion people at once can use our product. So we will get to the path of helping and enlighten the world faster than you can in your methodology. However, COVID spurred innovation and has created a way where you can see like hundreds of thousands of people at the same time through the studio that he built in Florida. So I just visited with Tony about 6 weeks ago, went to his home again, and we've been friends. I think mutual respect and a mutual path of helping people, and people who know Tony personally know him to be an incredibly passionate, determined man. Even in his 60s now, he's still just go, 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 like you, but he uses rescue daily and deep sleep nightly, unlike your lack of rescue regimen. So he's oxygenating his body. He's getting the recovery his cell structure needs because he's always asking too much of his mind and body. And so we've been kind of the groundwork. And I just say, hey, my role in your life is to be behind the scenes helping you protect yourself from all your ambition and to make sure that we take care of your autonomic nervous system. So it's been amazing. I love Tony Robbins. We have a great friendship, and that's where it stands, and that's where it should be always. Just taking care of people, taking good care of people who are good people, and then that kind of proliferates.
Yeah, I look at the list of the people who have vetted you and have endorsed you, and it's a veritable who's who. And it's important to remember that all of the things you've said today are backed by science. I know you've plowed a lot of money back into research, and this has been a multiple decades quest for you. And Dr. Blake Holloway, the inventor of the technology, is just one of these virtuosos. Right?
Super species. He was a super species.
He was like,
he didn't really walk. He hovered. He was a giant amongst intellectual giants. He had a really unique, special gift in his intellect. But I think even more impressive was the size of his heart and the determination to help disenfranchised people who are suffering, who have no voice. And that really is primarily the traumatized population. And we all have trauma. It's a continuum. Just like we all have, people say, hey, I have bipolar. Well, we all have depressive episodes and anxiety. Everything's a continuum. It's a vibration. It's a constant dynamic flow. You're never having your worst day in the world. You're never ever having your best day in the world. And you never stay on top all the time. And you never stay on the bottom all the time. That's the virtue of wisdom, right? And these kids that they take their own life, they don't know that. They don't know, hey, there are valleys, but I'm going to get out of that valley. And so that's the beauty of experience and wisdom. But in reality, I think for me, Jordan, I found my life's quest 14 plus years ago. I found my passion. I found a journey that was so rewarding personally, but also so intellectually stimulating. I mean, I get to rub elbows and speak and present to the world's leading neuroscientists and neurologists and neurosurgeons and cardiovascular surgeons and physicists. And being a pioneer, very few people understand what we do. But being a user, they experience the benefit. And I've only created these friendships with these celebrities simply because I never need or want anything from anybody. I just want to help people. And when you help them solve their problems, whether it's sleep or stress, and then you help their spouse or their children, they can't help but to love you. That's the method, and it's easy. We just help. And whether our journey resonates with you and you want to be a part of the NuCalm family, that's great. And if it's not, at some point in your life, the stress is going to get to be a lot, and you're going to call us up and say, hey, I want to try this because whatever I'm doing today is not working and I want something different. So,
and to get to that point, you need to know that you don't know. And that is why you could look at people, most of us, as you mentioned earlier, most of us in society are just not aware that we're predominantly coming from the amygdala. We're coming from the lizard. We're coming from reacting instead of proacting. Instead of being the conductor of your symphony, you're in the back reacting to stimulus. And Yeah, they could look at people who quote unquote are offenders. Even they are victims. They are sitting in that jail cell saying, how the hell did I end up in this cell? How did I do this again? How do I keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, like a brokered record player? They don't know that they're not in their prefrontal cortex. They don't even know what the amygdala is.
Yeah.
And until you know that, until you have some sort of technology that guides you out of that, you're destined to keep playing that same broken record player.
And it's unfortunate. And that's our job. Our job is to help elucidate and educate and create awareness to the possibilities, to the understanding of, we want you to be the conductor, not the conducted. And most people are conducted and they don't know any different, but they do know that there's a better way. They do know that they're managed by fear. They do know that they're easily sabotaged and they're triggered. They know this and they don't like it, but they don't know how to solve it. You're right. And offenders out there, there's a whole systematic variable to why they offend. A lot of it has to do with their social conditioning, their environment when they grew up, the role models they had or didn't have. I mean, there's a million reasons to show empathy and compassion for all walks of life, to understand that we are wired and the wiring is profoundly more impactful than what we think we can control. We don't control a lot of our behavior. It is controlled for us through the wiring of the reptile brain. And the reptile brain, by the name, tells you it's not really high conscious. It's not really open. It's not filled with empathy and joy and gratitude and love. It's filled with fear. It's the fear response. And when people are fearful, they either lash out in anger, or they lash out, or they become isolated and they get scared. Those are the two paths you see. And we can see the behavior across the planet. That's where we're at. So yeah, we have a lot of work to do. It's podcasts like this and kind of sharing with people the possibilities of what that allow us to just create an opportunity for change. And we've been at this a long time, 33 years. Typical pioneering endeavors take about 40 years to reach maturity and kind of systematic adoption. Like, for example, the microwave was invented by a physicist at Raytheon in 1946. It did not become a household item till 1986. Well, 40 years is a long time. So we got 7 years to go. I'd like to accelerate that sooner. And hopefully there are some benefits to the advent of technology and information sharing. And listen, our job is to find solutions that are all natural and can help you liberate yourself from being the conducted to being in control and being the conductor of your life, of your emotions, of what you want, your relationships with your spouse and your parents and your sons and your daughters and your community. And wouldn't it be a better world if we were more patient and present and had more access to our character? Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Before we get out of here, Jim Poole, how can people get in touch with you and find out more about NuCalm?
www.NuCalm, capital N, small u, capital CALM.com. We've been educating doctors and pilots in the military and professional athletes for years. We used to be a highly regulated FDA Class 3 medical device for 12 years. We sold for $6,000. We weren't helping enough people that way. So fortunately, in November of 2021, we were able to transform our product offering into a mobile app and lower the price to as low as $14.99 a month. So you can join the NuCalm family for as low as 50 cents a day to have access to what used to be exclusively available to the military, to pilots, to doctors, professional athletes, and used to be $6,000. So we've come a long way, baby. And NuCalm.com, join the family. It's a monthly subscription. If it doesn't fit into your lifestyle, don't pay for the next month. And we don't need your sample size of one. We've helped millions of people resolve their stress, sleep better, perform at higher levels. We know the product works. That's not up for debate. It works every time you press play. Is it important to you today, and will you make it a habit in your life?
This is why you're one of my favorite human beings on the planet. This is why I love you, brother.
Love you too. Rescue each day, man. 30 days.
I'm doing it 30 days, and we're going to circle back. We'll do a follow-up show, and I'll tell you all the benefits, and we'll talk about your trip to Kenya, because the pictures that came from Kenya were some of the most beautiful spiritual pictures I've ever seen in my life. And we'll, most importantly, touch base on how that rescue has impacted me, because I have a feeling I'm going to be a living, walking, talking testimonial for you, my brother.
Wonderful. Take care of yourself, Jordan. Thank you, everybody. Be well.
Thanks, Jim.
For our full schedule of fights on the NBC Sports Network, CW and ABC affiliates, visit UnitedFightAlliance.com. United Fight Alliance. United we fight.